We haven't seen them play for at least 2 weeks now, but I've heard that they've been practicing a lot of S&D, playing a whole lot of S&D chows. But if you're going to tell me, it's just like, Denial's going to need to win a respawn, and this team is the best respawn team in the game. So even if they win the second map, they still have to play 2 respawns back-to-back. So it's going to be really hard to beat them. We saw signs of great teamwork on the side of Denial, but I just feel like 100 Thieves is just going to be way too much, and I feel like they've already progressed on their respawn game modes, and they already know what to do. All they needed to do was focus on S&D, and I'm pretty sure that that's just what they've been practicing the entire time.
Denial's a team that's trying to find themselves right now. 100 Thieves is a team that just won a championship.
Yeah.
This 100 Thieves roster, like, you got to think that championship did wonders for their confidence going into the Pro League, and this is business as usual for them. They're just trying to get to that next major and go back-to-back. That's what their goal is right now. So they're just trying to improve, trying to fix their search and destroy is probably priority #1. But Denial is absolutely a team with players who can bring it to them, right? Like, I wouldn't be crazy surprised if they brought it to a Game 5, but I do expect 100 Thieves to take this series.
I'm pretty sure Austin told me everyone shows up with a Louis V bag, courtesy of Nate's shot, but Austin only has his hat and his controller.
His A's hat?
He's
got to be the biggest
He's showing
A's
up
fan
straight
on the
for greatness. He's just literally handling business as soon as he walks into the building.
Yes, they do certainly all look very fancy, but we will see if they can win over Denial, but we are ready to get things started, so we're going to hand it to our casters, Merc and Maven.
Thank you so much, guys. Yeah, I'm excited to get into this. I think for us, we saw a good showing from Denial yesterday, but if I pick one team that I was excited to see play again, it has to be 100 Thieves with how good they looked at London. Obviously, Octane MVP, they get the win. Can they keep that going? And everything I've heard from them, whether it's talking to Crowder, talking to Octane, they have not slowed down. There has been no issue with motivation coming off of a victory. They've been working hard at the search and destroy, and I'm excited to see if it's paid.
Well, I thought it was interesting. Right on Hot Mike, Octane was like, the problem is like, we smoked everybody in respawns, but our S&D was horrendous. Like, I guess looking back to the tournament, the one S&D that had to win, the Game 5 against Gen G in that winter semifinal, was the biggest one, and they won it, right? So you win a Game 5, that's fine. And I think for a championship team, you need about a 50% search and destroy. I think there was a little bit lower.
They're right at 40.
But they didn't go to a lot of Game 5s. There was a lot of 3-1s where they were handling, you know, those teams in respawns. But yeah, when we talked to Chris, it was, yeah, we have search and destroy challenges in a couple of hours, right? It was always like, he set them up, right? One of the things that we always talk about is, how do you practice search and destroy, right? We don't hear the effort coming out from other teams, and it sounds like Crowder had them on a schedule. Like, we're going to do this every day. We're going to prep for it. So I'm excited to watch that payload search and destroy for Denial. You know, they had a solid win yesterday in Game 5.
They won both their searches, so that's why I think that pegs the Game 2 even more.
Yeah, and I think Rated said before this, he tweeted out, like, Operation Win a Respawn. So he's trying to steal a respawn, and they're going to try to win both search and destroys, which is typically when you're the underdog going up as good as a team as 100 Thieves is. That's exactly how it works.
I saw Bance, we were walking around, I was like, hey, you got a tough match today. And he was like, nothing's tough when you got Brack on your team. That's what he said. So a lot of confidence in Brack and what he's been able to do. And to be fair, I mean, he was stellar yesterday. He had some crazy gunfights. I think 180 Hook at one point throughout that series. Like, he was very, very good. And I think he's going to have to be. Like, you can't get like an average Brack this series when you're going up against 100 Thieves. They're all going to have to be clicking.
Yeah, I say, you put a lot of focus on one player, but when you play the best team in the world right now, all 5 have to contribute. It's just the way it works. Like, teams like Optic Gaming, 100 Thieves, E United, if you have 1 or 2 slackers like we saw, towards those Game 3s and 4s, that's when 100 Thieves is just going to steal it away.
Well, from your experience as a pro player, like, in watching 100 Thieves perform at London, like, what about that makes them so good at respawn? Why are they so scary?
It was fun to watch, right?
It was.
When you and I watched it, every decision is very calculated. They're very much on the same page. We talk about, how do you break a hard point? How do you hold a hard point? There's steps to every single situation. In 100 Thieves, they have those steps down. And when do we have to stay alive? When do we wait for one another? It was a pleasure to watch. It really was.
And yesterday for Denial, we saw them smoke Envy and what the frequency, but the Hacienda is the one they drop. So you got to think you'd give the edge to 100 Thieves on this particular map just based on what we saw with Denial and how good 100 Thieves has been in these particular modes. But we'll get right into it. A tough gunfight for Enable, but he's able to back away with his life. It'll be rock control early to Denial. Really, Enable, the only one in a position to play spoiler.
Yeah, but he's able to, use this solid top haul as he's already got 3 kills in a row. A great start for Enable. Some early time for 100 Thieves. That's going to be his 4th kill now. So Enable doing a wonderful job getting that hill pressure. Now he's going to get on this hill. We'll see what he's able to find. I mean, he's getting close to Streaks, not too close, but you know he wants to play his life, but it's a tough position when you're inside that hill.
Yeah, exactly. That's not going to be the spot you want to play for Streaks from everywhere. So not a ton of time for either side, at least at the opening hard point, but we'll shift focus on over to Lambeau. Alex trying to do 100 Thieves dirty, and he's able to do just that. Slasher and Kinney both going to fall. The reinforcements come in, but Priesta will be the next man up on the 100 Thieves side, and where 2 go down for the side of 100 Thieves, then they find 3 behind Priesta. For a second, I thought the contest would be there, but the remaining players in Denial at least able to hold.
This is tough now for the Denial, though. They know the water pressure is here. There's going to be a lot of pressure from 100 Thieves. There's going to be the contest, and 3 kills going to go the way of 100 Thieves as Priesta continues, finds another 2 kills. Enable's going to push on out, find that last player. It's just Brack now towards the back. Actually is able to find 2. So Brack finds 2. So not a lot of time right now going to 100 Thieves. Just contest fest right back and forth inside this hill with just 20 seconds left. One more push out of both sides.
Yeah, we've got 90 possible points to be earned. We only got about 50 on the board. It's been heavily contested. There's nobody really in the hard point, but Peekaboo, up comes Enable, out of water, doing whatever damage he can. But now on the other side for the rotation, Octane going to be rotating through the well side, going all the way towards back shed. It'll be at number 5. That's going to be Priesta to make the play in the back. Now in comes the forces of Denial.
Yeah, well, Octane rotated so early, and I believe it was Kenny who spawned up near back well, so Octane knew the push was coming elsewhere. Slasher went all the way around the back. They wanted to make sure they had that back shed control, but the pressure was through connector, and that pressure through connector hasn't stopped. Well, we have another contest on a hill.
Yeah, no one's been able to get a very good clean setup. They couldn't push out both sides. Now as they get 3, that's going to back them up the well. But you've got, who was that was playing
Vance.
for Streak? 75 off. All right, so Vance getting close at 6 and 3. We'll see if he can get eyes on. He has to back down as maybe the best ICR in the game, put shots into him, but his teammates all pick up the kills. Joe gets 3. That's 5 down for 100 Thieves. And Denial control of the hard point, and Vance now with a lightning strike.
Yeah, he's going to get very close, just collecting this time. He's going to be about 15 points away at the end of this. And well, Priesta, he's going to actually clean on up. 100 Thieves, they throw a couple extra bodies at this hill. Just try to take care of Vance. You'll see in that boathouse, you have Octane locking it down. You have Slasher top halls. So really, no one in full control right now is
of anything.
Yeah, both teams just fighting for it. Now maybe you use that lightning strike if you are Vance.
Still holding on to it for now. There comes the call. They get 2 kills. They get the lightning streak in. Rated connects on a melee. 3 down for 100 Thieves. Denial breaks right into the hard point. It seems no one can retain control for more than 15 or so seconds before a contester break comes in.
Yeah, Priesta already with Crash Slam as well. He's going to use it, not find anything. Just clips the corner. We've seen that time and time again. Cluster in, but that's going to be all 5 dead for 100 Thieves. And Slasher's nade does find 1. Finally, maybe a bit of breathing room for Denial. They can get the setup that they want, but you already see those red arrows already starting to flood on in.
And you said the way that they were going to need to beat 100 Thieves is all 5 players would need to be going off really for Denial. And that's what you're getting right now for the most part, especially Alex. I think he's at 16, 15, and 9 as he comes back off spawn. I know a lot of us have been excited to see what Alex can do within the Pro League. A stellar performance here, at least in the early game.
They're still down 10, right? Like this is probably the lowest I've ever seen through one rotation of our points. Like we're only at 80 points, the closest player. This might come down to time. We already have 2 minutes off that play clock almost burned. And the way the contests have gone at Hills 2 and 3, it may come down to that time.
It could. We haven't seen that very often this year. I mean, that was a common theme last year on maps like Arden Forest. We saw it all the time, but not much this year whatsoever. But last time, where basically nothing was earned, this time at the opening hard point, it's all 100 Thieves. They've got it locked down. Octane playing inside the hard point. Rated, though, able to pick him up. But as soon as he does, 3 more fall for Denial. And you've got exactly what you want if you're 100 Thieves. Look how far you have them spawning out. Denial spawning in no man's land towards Fitz's. You have rock control. You have back garage control. You've got everything you could ask for, at least for the rotation the next.
Another 5 spree, make it 6 for Enable. I thought he was going to play around those streaks with 10 seconds left. Jumped in the hard point about 350 away. I think that's a point where you could start thinking about the streaks, but he's not worried about it right now. They're going to do it with their hard point setups. Kenny and Octane are going to find a couple of kills. And this is the difference maker, right? When Denial was set up early, they didn't have a player in the water. What happens with that? 100 Thieves, they can push that lane out, and while they can continue to contest, Denial hasn't touched it since.
No.
Kenny's done a wonderful job.
This has been a brilliant hold. Yeah, water pushed out. Look how far up, pushed towards like arches almost. You had number 1 in Priesta. They're spawning out so far, and they haven't been able to put any pressure on this like we saw the first time through. This has been stellar stuff inside a garage for 100 Thieves, and what was once a 10-point game, which doesn't seem all that long ago, has been blown wide open from 100 Thieves.
And it takes an Alex three-piece to finally break on in. But yeah, it was, what, 80 to 69 in favor of 100 Thieves. Since that point, it's been all of them on these first 2 hills, and this is what we saw in London. Scrappy times back and forth. But when they got the setup they wanted and they got the, the areas of control that they were fighting for, it just turned into so many points for 100 Thieves.
The early rotation certainly pays dividends. And now you need to answer back desperately if you're Denial. You need a solid hold here inside of fences. Bance has some work cut out for him in the back, but it's Kenny that's able to hit him with a bunny hop and come up with the kill with the Maddox. Vision Pulse going to be brought in. You still have, what, War Machine now coming in from Alex. He drops immediately, though, so you get nothing out of that. Everybody falling on the side of Denial. 100 Thieves has once again gotten in. And Enable, another chance for streaks. He's 23 and 14. He got one. He got one.
He's able to find one. He was just trying to get those fences pushed out so they could lock this hill down. And that's exactly what he does. Octane starting to heat up. Had a bit of a slow first start of hills, but since then, now on a force spree, getting close to back to even. And again, when they get the setup that they want, when they find those kills, they turn it into something. It's 40 points on this hill, plus streaks for Octane, a streak for Enable. The first rotation, Denial was competing. This second one has been all 100 Thieves.
Yeah, they really got in a rhythm and have completely and utterly taken over this game. 3 are going to be down for 100 Thieves now, but that's one way to answer. You bring in the Hellstorm, makes everybody split. You're able to connect onto Joe. Kenny wins one on the back end as well, but you still get 3 down if you're Denial. So a good job holding despite the fact that a streak is soaring in.
Yeah, but here's the problem. When you have 3, you can use another one as well to try to break on in. Enable, streak, though, it's going to find absolutely nothing. His answers with 2 kills. Tempest out now for Rated, able to connect on 1. There's some more pressure here. Well, he read it correctly, and he's able to snap onto Enable. He had a clip earlier this week when he switched sensitivities. It was pretty disgusting. So his Tempest definitely on point, but he's going to get cleaned on up. Now Priesta, that one's going to connect, but also hits Enable. So Denial, they find about 30 points on this hill, plus with 2 streaks coming in for them.
I think you feel good. I mean, not only the streaks, but also the grab slam, and you exhaust quite a bit if you're 100 Thieves, but honestly, it wasn't behind the streaks or the specialists that got them that big lead in the first place, so you still feel pretty good about their chances, and they still have 1 lightning to use in Octane's hands. This is where they really started to open up the lead. The hold in the first hard point through the second set. Can they do that yet again here? Bance still holding on to his lightning on the Denial end as well.
And once again, Octane finds 3 kills. Kenny, Enable, they start to pick up a couple, and now it's just 100 Thieves time. They know exactly where Denial is going to be, where their push is going to come from. They just play into their hands.
And the first time we saw Enable try to get to this hard point, and he just has to land on his belly. Can't really be involved in the gunfights. But when you get your ICR in there, he can actually challenge the gunfight's top windows like you've seen him be able to do. So he racks up 15 or so seconds, plus picks up a kill from that position as well. I mean, you love to have your ICR inside of the hard point.
That's exactly what numbers as well. Octane, right? Yep. Like, I think there was a stat sheet that showed he was like #1 with hard point time. Just, I mean, when they get set up, they put Octane in those sort of positions where you can find those kills and collect that time. That also leads to a good amount of streaks for him as well.
Once again, the garage rotation, the early setup, 200 Thieves, and they've got exactly what they had the last time, or at least on the rock side, but you've got more of a presence that backstats you if you're Denial. Slasher War Machine out, just keeps them at bay for a moment. The Lightning gonna do the same. Able to get 1. Still a presence here. Can they get in? The contest is there for a moment, but the final kill comes in, and 100 Thieves, as expected, take the game 1 hard point.
Yeah, first rotation, we thought a good effort for Denial. Alex was playing well. Everybody was really, stepping on up. But after all of that, it was still a 10-point lead for 100 Thieves. I think during that first rotation, Octane had a bit of a slow start, and then since that, second and third, all 100 Thieves.
Well, I think Denial did kind of what you need to do if you're going to beat a very good hardpoint team. That's keep it messy. Like, keep it very scrappy, keep it messy, don't allow them to get those setups. But as soon as 100 Thieves got them, they just completely and utterly ran away with it. And it just felt like, Denial had to be perfect as soon as they let it slip a bit. 100 Thieves took advantage, and that's what championship caliber teams do.
Yeah, this is going to be fun now. We go into the Search and Destroy. I think for us, probably a must-win for Denial, but on the 100 Thieves side, Where's the improvement? This is really that focus, or the part of the game where they wanted to focus on.
We'll take a look at the final 60 or so seconds as 100 Thieves are able to close it out. You see Enable had a strong map as he was at 27 and 18 at this point. Octane really turned it around, as you mentioned, over the course of that map 1. But really, for me, it's just hard points 1 and 2. The complete tonal shift we saw between the second and third sets.
And we'll see the way 100 Thieves does it right now, because right now you have Denial, you have a few players starting to push through water, and well, what happens, they just isolate them out. The fact that Enable has top Hall's control, he's able to pinch this rock. Him and Priesta working well together, and Enable's still here, wins another gunfight, and then what does this do? This forces Denial to go all the way through lobby towards that backside. And well, they recognize this. Bans does call in the lightning strike, but they all survive it. Slasher has the war machine, and I mean, you use the lightning strike as well to just secure the game.
Well, Brack, who has been a sensation for the side of Denial, was a big part of their victory yesterday. He talked to Jess before the match. Let's see what he had to say.
Thank you, Clint. Yeah, that's right. I spoke to Brack, and I did ask him a little bit about how it feels to be the superstar on the team. You know, all eyes are on him, it seems, and he says he doesn't feel any pressure. He threw some gas toward his teammates and said, oh, these guys make it easy. Coming into play versus 100 Thieves, I also asked, are there any kind of nerves playing versus the CWL London champions? And he said, no, we're not scared of any team. He did admit that their control is their weak point, that they hadn't really scrimmed that game mode since London, but they're feeling really solid on S&D. He did say if we can take the first hard point, we were feeling really good about the series. Of course, that did not happen. Let's see what happens next, though. Clint and Joe, back over to you guys.
Well, that's very scary. You mentioned that game 2 was a must-win. I think even more so now, going up against what might be the best control team in the game. You said you haven't scrimmed it at all since London, and then you played your hard point that you lost yesterday. So, like this, yeah, you got to win game 2.
How does that happen? How do you just not scrim a game mode?
I don't know.
That's just...
See, it's weird
terrible
to me,
prep.
and I wonder if that boils down to, we heard it back, and there were some teams that wouldn't scrim like CTF a lot last year, whether it was like they didn't want to give away opening breaks, or no, wasn't it just Rise that said they didn't want to scrim it because they didn't want to make other teams better? Was that the one story last year with CTF?
Sure, but like,
that doesn't apply to Denial. Yeah, it doesn't apply to Denial.
There's teams, it's the same way. Well, teams don't scrim, search, and destroy, but we're hearing from 100 Thieves side, they're able to find, like, there's always a way. I think there's always a way. Like, that to me is just, I'll be honest, that's lazy.
No, well, you hear all the time that teams, 90% of what they play in scrims is hard point. Like, it's not the first time we've heard that, but you got to play some control.
Oh, it's pretty important.
Yeah.
I think game 3 really has been a momentum shifter since ever.
Well, and that's where the reverse sweep almost started for Envy yesterday, right? They're able to take the control convincingly and then go on a bit of a run. But yeah, now if you're Denial, you, without question.
Oh, you have to win this. Oh, yeah. You have to win this. But, yeah, okay. Yeah, you definitely wanted to win that first hard point.
Yeah. 2-2 split. It's going to be a 3 versus 3 in the early going of round 1. 100 Thieves trying to figure out how they want to find an opening with the bomb. Enable will be your carrier. They 2-hit Enable. That's going to be bomb down in Little Room. And now a difficult spot for Slasher and Octane with what you have Paladin ICR to try and get a break and get this bomb. Is Denial where they have it? It looks like the way Alex is playing it, he's got an idea.
Able to grab it. That player just backed on up, watching the cross. Octane trying to play a little aggressive with this sniper rifle. Spotted Joe.
They got bomb.
Yeah, still a little bit of time to work with, but watch that number 7. That's banned, starting to work the flank, sort of trapping them on in.
I feel like Octane just has to get a pick here. Does Joe give him a chance? He gets backed up from the shots from Slasher. Top. That looked like he was going to have a shot on him, but not able to pull it up. And Alex gets 2 to close it out. I believe 3 total in the round after the bloodbath mid-tunnel to kick it off. Nice opening round from Denial. We'll see the best play. I'm sure it's our final moment here from Alex.
Yeah, he spots that second player.
Nice little slide cancel. Smokes him. All right, so far so good for Denial, and it's difficult. Well, did you have any big takeaways from their search yesterday? I know Rated had that 10 streak. He obviously took over on Hacienda, but any big takeaways regarding Denial?
No, not necessarily. I thought their teamwork was on point. I mean, yeah, there was just big plays, you know, individually from them, allows them to earn those streaks. I think a lot of the focus was just on Envy and how they were going to perform in Search Destroy, and that really surprised us.
They're applying a lot of pressure to the outside catwalk. You can see how far pushed up that number 8 is. That's going to be Joe, and he's able to catch him. He had, I believe, Rated looking over him, allowing him to get to that spot. Kenny gets isolated, and he falls. So a 5v3 early for Denial, picking apart 100 Thieves. bomb planted today. They'll have to try and go for the retake. Enable at least able to find an opener to bring this a little bit closer. Bance was hitting shots yesterday on, what was it, Arsenal, where he was really on fire with the snipe. But with 30 seconds left, you've really got to go. They might get a chance to isolate one, but you got the pistol up top. The trade goes their way. One player remaining at the back boxes is Octane. Bance had a shot for a second, maybe got some unfortunate timing, but not likely going to matter in a 1v3 with this little time. He's off the map.
And this was the thing in map 2 yesterday against Envy, was just they got out such to an early lead, right? It was 5-1. Then Envy started making those mid-map changes, right? Those adjustments. We'll have to continue to see what 100 Thieves do. But I mean, just early in the rounds, right? The first bloods are going the way of Denial. They're having a man advantage from, you know, round to round. That's just going to make it easier. As long as you can play your numbers correctly, and we know they can do that. They've always been a very smart team, especially in Search and Destroy. But when Envy started getting those first bloods, that's when things changed.
We'll keep an eye on that over the course of this map, too. You got Alex at 4-0, Bance at 3-0. Really carrying the load right now. There's going to be two players here. Enable's going to have to back it up. Is there anyone to support him? Priesta can't get the angle, so Joe, once again with the first blood, he's just been manhandling 100 Thieves outside catwalk.
Yeah, and he knows how tough of a shot that is. He almost gets away from Priesta. Slasher able to find one, but Raided's there for the trade. Raided finds the second, his ICR.
Oh, yeah.
That game 5 was so good.
Oh, yeah, you're the best ICR in the game, Octane. Well, I'm here, too.
Yep.
Nice play. This he gets two. And once again, a huge edge to Denial. Alex just playing his life, waiting for support. One member of 100 Thieves able to get in the top window. He'll challenge Raided. You don't want to feed him any more kills. You know he's already gotten 2 in the round, but Kenny with a big one-on-one, he's able to take it. Almost snaps onto the second. The team shot nearly there. They almost come up with the clutch, but Slasher will finally fall, and that's now, what, 3 in a row for Denial.
And it's interesting as well for 100 Thieves. Like, you come off a win. And a lot of the times when you come off a win, there might be either certain game modes or certain maps. You know, when you come back to the league, maybe you're trying to change up your map pool. You're trying to prepare your map pool because, you know, teams like Optic, United, they know sort of your weakness areas. They're going to try and strengthen certain parts. We saw Optic play a lot of different controls, a lot of Arsenal, Seaside. Same with Search, where, you know, between Optic and 100 Thieves in London, this was that Search and Destroy that Optic was able to take. So maybe for 100 Thieves, it's just trying to find those map picks where when they go deep in the tournament, what are they going to bring out?
Well, finally, you get a first blood for 100 Thieves. How can they play behind this advantage? The flick not there for Bance. Priesta involved in the action as well. The trade comes in and Bance able to connect. So now it's going to be a 3 versus 3. Slasher got a lot of information.
Yeah, he's a big time. He should be able to find 2 kills. Is going to do it as Bance and Joe were just stuck on that bomb site. Now it's all on the Raided.
Oh, I got some fortunate hip fire. I thought maybe he wins one and gets away, but he was getting trapped like a rat there, top heaven. First round. 400 Thieves, but yeah, best play, I'm sure it is Slasher. You can see he gets a little bit of fortunate timing. Spots too. Easy pickings for him.
In the difference here, that Octane able to find that first blood with the ICR, doesn't have the sniper out. Does get a little ambitious in Peak's Bance. Well, I don't think he has to. When you have that middle control, if you have like an ICR there, you can sort of wallbang that bomb site, make it tough to plant. But still, the first round win for 100 Thieves. We'll see now if they can win an offense.
Let's take a look at the minimap to see the split. It is big pressure in the mid-tunnel. Thought they were going to hit it for a second, but look at how many bodies you have there for Denial as well. Kenny just able to get through. Might be able to finesse and heal. A chance to catch a second, the slide in, the challenge in. Another kill to Kenny, and he's still getting away with his life. What a beautiful piece of work from him and Octane.
Yeah, Kenny found that opening. He saw that player rotate on back, and that's when he challenged that first kill and fight. The second one, too, that Kenny was able to find. He wasn't even full health. Rated last one alive yet again, just going to jump off the map now. 2 in a row for 100 Thieves.
So they get 1 defense on the board. They get 1 offense. Maybe, well, I mean, we saw him in the hard point kind of start to click around.
Look at this timing. He just spots that player rotating on back. No, Bance is probably watching the cross. And then this one, he's down to 91. That's a 2-bullet difference. Able to catch Alex off guard.
Yeah, it's, in this game, though, it seems more often than not you've got the advantage when you're the one sliding out.
You're sliding on in.
Pre-aiming a corner isn't always the best play, unfortunately, if you're Alex in that spot. Into lab we go. Trophy out for Bance. Sees him for a second, but that slides across so quick, no chance to take a shot. So tunnel control to 100 Thieves. And a 4-man push from Denial in towards A. And the first bloods just continue to go for 100 Thieves. That's going to now be 3 in a row, 4v2 advantage.
And they just push after that, right? Like they were able to call it out, and that was such a fast round. They knew they were inside A. Priesta, he lowers that catwalk, able to get down low, plays it perfectly. But yeah, it's the big difference. I mean, for Denial, when they win their first 3 rounds, they have the first bloods, they have the man advantage, and now those adjustments are coming in for 100 Thieves. They're starting to play a little bit more together, finding all these kills.
I need to take a look and see if they've changed anything up at catwalk, because that was where they got caught twice, right? It was Joe that was able to get 2 kills. He pushes with Rated looking over him. They caught Enable, I believe, on one side, and then it was Kenny, I think, they caught on the other end.
Well, plus 2, the first 3 rounds we saw Octane with a sniper. The last couple we've seen him find the first blood was with the ICR. Back to the snipe this round. We'll see if he can heat on up.
Does he get an angle? Ooh, sees an elbow for just a moment. Shoots him in the elbow, but maybe through the wall. Not going to finish him, but going to scare him a bit. He has that frag grenade to use as well.
And all Octane's doing now is keeping them honest, right? Just making sure there's a couple of players here. That player, Bance, does have a snipe out, so we have a bit of a snipe duel. Bance jumps across, tries to get that right-hand angle. Kenny, though, finds Joe and Alex near that catwalk side. Parisa now starting to move his way through midship. Enable with 1, and all on the Bance. He's going to fall off.
100 Thieves rolling now. And yeah, the place they were finding their most success on catwalk, this time it's not as aggressive. It's more of a delayed push on that side. And Kenny, maybe we'll see it in the best play, but yep, let's see what he was able to do. Oh, and he just goes up to the top window.
Again.
I mean, wow. Oh, wow.
That he did the round, you know what, their last offense, where he found a great timing.
And that ended up being, I think Rated was at the back box, which may have his eyes on that, but I think he went out to look over Joe at catwalk, and then that's where he finds the timing. So I'm guessing it's like as soon as Rated gets eyes off it, he's able to slip through. Now Slasher, 150 points off streaks as he's sitting at 6 and 3. 3 rounds in a row for Denial, answered by 4 in a row. 400 Thieves. Priesta trying to stay up. Into the grinder they go. Slasher just barely gets away with his life. Wants to check to see if the push is there, but they've all backed up, and they're all going to be hitting Octane here momentarily. He expects the pressure, knows there's no eyes on mid-tunnel, so that really doesn't even give him a chance to maybe play aggressive and get a pick as the push comes through.
Yeah, he's just trying to find a pick, right? Trying to make this a 3 versus 3. Knows that there's a lot of different ways he can come from, so he's just going to watch one, plays a little bit safe. But Denial went right back to the middle of the map. And they do take midship control, so they're going to be going through middle. Slasher, he's going to get caught out. Band stayed up top catwalk. Octane just misses the shot. Challenges with this strife, but is taken down. Now it's all on to Kenny. Should be able to wallbang Alex. Bomb down.
Ooh. Well, he wallbangs 1, and the favor gets returned as he'll get cut down, and Denial stopped the bleeding. Tied up at 4-4. A much-needed round because things were getting out of hand as 100 Thieves took it over. Bance, nice timing to catch Slasher. Octane, well, you'll take this fight against the Strife. Nice shots. I mean, yeah, so far, every team that's had the early edge, they've controlled it. We haven't had any crazy clutches, no 3v4s, 2v4, anything like that. It's just been the first bloods, the early action. They've been able to snowball behind that, which should more often than not be the story.
Yeah, Denial played very mid-heavy that last offense. And catching 100 Thieves off guard. You saw Slasher was trying to go in and trade those kills, but there was just so many there. Plus, he was close to streaks, was trying to play his life. But here's that catwalk pressure, and well, Kenny this time, he's going to get caught. So Kenny's really been the difference maker when he's found the first bloods, found the openings. 100 Thieves has won the round.
You can see the 2 players catwalk starting to build up the flank. That's going to be Joel and Brack that are going to start to come. What timing will they get? I think they got spotted. So now they're going to try and isolate them in the back. It's going to be a 3-on-2 on this side. Can they get this without losing anybody? They might get in behind. Slasher should get eyes, able to pick up Joe. I like that from 100 Thieves. You get the information. You know they have the man advantage on this side of the map. Pick up the kill, even the odds. Now 4 versus 4.
Yeah, still, though, 30 seconds to work with now. You've been rotating back and forth so much. Bance, though.
They're going right back.
Yeah, he gets a little aggressive, tries to find an opening. Instead, he gets caught. Alex is going to get stunned up now, loses the gunfight, and, well, if Bance is a little bit more patient up top catwalk with that ICR, maybe they can find something. Brack does get taken down, but Rated finds the kill on the bomb planet, and there goes Prisa flying on in.
And that was a big stun on Alex in the back, because he was probably he was the lone guy that had a chance to maybe delay that plant early. He had the cluster to work with and maybe keep him off the bomb until the reinforcements got there, but you saw the stun. They pick up the kill behind it. He can't delay until the other 2 players get involved, but
to me, that's just on Bane. Obviously, the flanks coming through, I think 100 Thieves find a good timing, find one pick, but still, it's
the timing was perfect. 4. Yeah, I think they just
4 versus 4. But the big thing is there's 30 seconds left. Like, play around the bomb sites with your ICRs. You know, we saw Rated able to do it through that midship. Bance, I think, just gets a little, you know, a little too aggressive when he should have played around that clock.
Yeah, I think I'm guessing the call is that they're hitting A. They're hitting A.
Yeah, you have no information. There's no information.
Or they thought they had information, they didn't. This time it's Enable's turn to get aggressive, wins the one-on-one. Rated's going to drop a first blood to 100 Thieves.
Well, and they catch him off, right? Because Rated starts to back on up when he hears that catwalk start to lower. But they timed it perfectly, so Enable flies on through. Is able to win that, and then Priest up middle of the map, able to find Alex. Slasher finds Brack. What was a very good start for Denial. We talked about a must-win map for them. It's about to be 100 Thieves up 2-0 in this series.
Last player drops. Kenny gets the final 2. And there it is, 2-0 to 100 Thieves. And it sort of feels like, to me, it's just 100 Thieves is the better team right now. Denial's catching them off guard a little bit in the early game with regards to Search and the hard point. 100 Thieves start to figure him out. They start to take it to him. At least that's how it feels to me so far.
Yeah, I mean, it was just to me, it comes down to those first bloods, right? It was just all one-sided, one way. And, well, after that, it was all 100 Thieves.
100 Thieves looking to still be in Championship London form. The improvements in Search and Destroy, we haven't seen enough yet, but so far, so good. Up 2-0 in the series. Control coming up next, and I haven't scripted since London, so I don't know what the hell's going to happen.
The Call of Duty World League is brought to you by Mountain Dew Amp Game Fuel, the official beverage of the CWL. Scuff Gaming, the official controller of the CWL. And TCL, America's fastest growing TV brand.
level up the game.
Well, hello there. We are back. Hi. 100 Thieves up 2-0 so far in this series, and it's tough to feel good about the denial comeback considering what Jess said. Their controls are weakest mode. They haven't scrimmed it since London. 100 Thieves is lock it down control type team.
We're going to Arsenal.
Yeah.
All right.
I'd be very surprised. Ray better have the map of his life.
Yeah, no, the reason I said that, I mean, we saw what 100 Thieves is able to do in control, but specifically Arsenal control, I mean, they're very good at this map.
And this is one of those maps, I mean, I think whether it's search, hardpoint, every mode. Basically, like, if you talk about a clinical team making the right decisions, like, you can really punish the other teams, because you can compare to something like a Hacienda. There's more potential spawn teams out, get the early setups. Like, you can really roll over a team. So if they're as clinical as we think they are when it comes to the respawns, yes, this is going to be an uphill battle for denial. And this is where, haven't we seen them run 3 or 4 ICRs here?
Yeah, Kenny will use it off the start. He's got one in hand. Octane, Slasher. They've been a team not afraid to use, you know, 3 ICRs. As well, denial. They're going to head towards that B site off the start. And this is the reason why, when they can rotate on over,
well, Brack doesn't matter.
Some of these statue gunfights would be a little bit easier when you have multiple ICRs. But yeah, Brack with the Maddox, able to find 3 nose enables in the vent. Well, that's his 4th kill already. But that's what I was talking about, right? Just sort of that retake ability with the ICR. Be a little bit easier, but denial on a bit of a split push. They have 2 on A, 2 on B.
And Brack is every bit of why they've been able to make these plays. Now you're going to rely on the other members, but Brack with the opening gets them 2 ticks onto the B site. Now 100 Thieves have to try and rally back into A. 1 player inside of vents, that's going to be Priesta trying to find the opening. Now 2 ticks on either point. So far, so good for denial, but you're not quite out of the woods yet. Another clearance from 100 Thieves, and the lives pretty similar.
Well, and this is what we've talked about, right? There's been a lot of discussion around sort of split pushing, specifically on this map with both points, and what do you want to do? And 100 Thieves, I think they retake B and like, well, there's only 3 a day. Like, it's not going to go all the way. So they're able to take both sites. There's still only 1 tick needed on both, but does it matter? Because now you have the clock and the life advantage for 100 Thieves.
Yeah, and this isn't a map as much like a frequency where like 1 break can decide it all. It usually is needed to be done in 2 steps, so this is not going to be easy at all. What was once a 2 life advantage for denial, now 3 for 100 Thieves, and they've been able to get some presence on the map. That number 6 is Octane. He's pushed all the way up to their kitchen. At the forward plants, you have Slasher lining them up, him and Enable able to combo, and just look at the minimap now. It is just pressure galore from 100 Thieves, and this is difficult for denial to find an opening. It looks like they're going to try and do sort of I thought like a 3-2 split with 3 going towards artillery guns, but they got to go. 25 seconds left.
That's why I was very worried when they didn't finish 1. Because the clock was going to be against them, especially when 100 Thieves gets all this map control. You do have 1 player inside of A. Still going to go up pretty slow. There's 1 with him. That's Joe's in a fly-through window. Still a 5 life advantage for 100 Thieves, so they might not even take a shot at this, but 1 player does fly through. Octane finds 1.
I think they knew there could only be a player or 2 there, just based on the information you got from Enable on the other side of things. They said, screw it, we're going to try and retake. That cluster should finish up Octane, but he just challenges around it and gets another. That's a big play, at least in the lives regard. But you will get A in an extension of 60 seconds. But now we'll look at Kenny and Enable, this duo, as they've got the aggression straight to denial. And they'll stagger the push. No more respawns available for denial.
Yeah, look at the way these 2 are sort of working together. You got Enable just showing 1 way. Kenny will get picked. Enable has to be a little bit careful here. They do try to find a bit of aggression. Now just 4 versus 5. Enable's push up. Enable just needs to try to find 1. Are they going to know he's in this position? He has dead silence on. Does get caught, though. So 4 versus 4.
This has been incredible from denial. Maybe a little over-aggressive from 100 Thieves in a couple of these spots?
I think so, yeah. I mean, Kenny and Enable were fine, but what was it? Slasher who sort of just tried to hit that mid-door. I think a little bit too early, but there's the aggression. Priesta finds Brack. Brack had a stun in his hand.
Right as he goes for the stun, the push comes through. Time dwindling. They're pushing all the way back to the spawn. As you can see from Slasher's POV, he has the read. He's ready for it. Slasher gets gunned, though. He ends up getting gunned in the back. 3 versus 2. They've gotten into the point. Now the pressure on 100 Thieves to have to break in, but Kenny, with that ICR, rips 1. Bance gets cut. 100 Thieves hold on and win the round, despite the fact that the early going was all denial.
And denial almost did it. What was it, about a 4 versus 7, I would say, after they capped that A point?
Well, I mean, it felt like, at least in the early going, like, Brack, well, this is the play. Brack's 3 kills here. It was like 100 Thieves were playing from behind for another 60 seconds after this because it was such a sensational
But it was after this because there was a few players that go down on denial during this push. They go to A. They don't come to B with the players on B, right? So then you have 2 on B, 3 on A. Neither gets finished. You don't have map control. Nobody pushed up in the lobby. You gave 100 Thieves the opportunity to take both back. That's sort of the discussion. Do you just send one off of B? Do you only leave one player there? Do you just capture A?
And that's something that I think it was what Optic was frustrated with in their last week, right? Like, just finish a point.
Finish a point. I think on this map specifically, just how tough it can be if the defense does get pushed up.
Brack, unfortunately for him, there's 3 players in front of him. Now Joe gonna have to deal with it from the back steps. He's got raided in through lobby as well. The ICRs of 100 Thieves starting to flow on forward, but it's Alex with his own in his hand, and that should be a nice defensive hold, at least to kick things off and give them a nice 3-life edge.
Now 100 Thieves, how do they start this next offensive push? Already half the round gone, 45 seconds depleted off the clock. It's really just almost one to 2 more pushes. They send one player all the way around. That's Enable with the SOG. But Alex almost catches a good timing. Now might get caught by Slasher off spawn. That's 2 dead. Brack, though, inside the window. Doesn't expect Enable to come on back. Well, Joe's able to stay alive, and that's going to stagger the push for 100 Thieves. Here comes the reinforcements. It's just Enable and Slasher.
Yeah,
Sorry, just Slasher.
Yeah, it's a trade. Him and Vance are going to trade with the SOGs. They're going to slide in. Nice slide in by Alex. Kenny's still here, but they've got to stay in. They can't allow much more time to be milked off this clock. Vance does get spotted inside, continues to spray.
Tag 5 keeps him up.
I wonder, I was like, is no one hitting shots?
No, Enable is hitting shots, then he automatically just pops to 200 HP. Alex with that ICR, not able to find one. And this should be A for 100 Thieves. Or will they fly on in? Nope, so 100 Thieves is going to cap it.
And now 1 minute and 20 seconds to work with. Pretty much all square in the lives department. And they want to take artillery. They want to get control of the spawn for denial. There's really one player back here. That's the number 3. It's Alex, who has the extra HP. Well, that's gone. Backs up, gets the cluster out. Vance going to rotate over to try and get a bit of help. Everybody kind of rotating across to deal with this. On the other side's the number 8. That's Slasher trying to keep them honest towards B.
Oh, I thought that was a cluster. Yeah, just a frag. But here comes the pressure as Kenny finds 3.
Enable will drop as he was all the way deep in the spawn. Priesta, he's trying to just get out of harm's way, but he can't get out. Now they got 50 seconds to work with. Tac 5 is popped, 400 Thieves. The wall bang, though, for Alex is big. That'll stagger the push even more. And a good job staying alive. Almost gets picked by Octane, but able to back down.
Trying to see, Rated does have Tempest. Brack locking down middle of the map. Octane getting very close. That's really the only one I could see them using. Alex is going to use War Machine, try to secure this round number 2. 20 seconds left for 100 Thieves. You see they're sending Priesta all the way around. They don't have, well, Priest doesn't have Flak Jacket on. Doesn't matter because he loses the gunfight. Alex is going to find 2 as well. So they use the War Machine, secure the defensive round.
A fantastic hold from the Nile so far. All defense within this map 3, but for a team that says they haven't played it much, I mean, they've looked solid. They've fought 100 Thieves very tough on both these opening rounds.
Yeah, even just the first half of that defensive round was all them. It took a very solid push out of 100 Thieves just to get A. I mean, it was down to 20 seconds.
This is where I thought things were going to get ugly for denial. Once Kenny got the 2 gunfights, then Enable pushed all the way into their spawn. I didn't even realize he wrapped in and got a 3rd. I thought things were going to crumble from there, but somehow denial were able to solidify. Now the question though is, what does denial do if they don't get the opening break like they did last time? Do they try and just focus on one point? Yep, maybe just make sure you get A, try and get in, do the damage here early. That number 10 in Priesta starting to work his way up window. He's going to have eyes on this.
Yeah, Rated pulls out the Tempest for the break. What can he find? Can he find anything? Does find one in the window, but can't find the second shot. And 100 Thieves, they stand strong. They find 4 kills, make it 5, and get map control at A.
And this is allowing the B side of the map to start to push up. You see number 9 and Kenny getting all the way up to their front window. Octane hits the shot, gets away with his life, able to heal up. Can't tack another one on. That actually does connect, so they've got 1 down. Hasn't changed to the opposite pillar yet. He's still got about half a tank in this thing. Can he connect and get a chain? Nice shot over the top. Tries to 180, but not able to hit it. But they're sub 30 seconds on the clock. They haven't got the first bit of progress quite yet. And Kenny just barely stays alive as the wall bang's coming into vents.
You'll see, even with 3 players, it's going up pretty slow. Second take's about to be in, but still a chance because you have Kenny, Slasher going all the way around. You have 1 player starting to hit through this window area. They're going to allow A to go through, but Priesta, they want to find all of these kills. They want to trap them on in this A base, and it looks like they're going to be able to do so.
I heard them just screaming, two flanking as they're trying to pick it up. Slasher should get caught in the back. No, he's actually he gets bailed out by his cluster. And then the other side, it's Octane that's able to do it. Lives, what, 16-15 favored 100 Thieves. Everybody basically coming off spawn for denial right now. Priest will be finessing inside of their steps, and mid-lab will be locked down by Octane. Grab slam available for Priesta. They're going to push him out. Everybody comes swarming into Priesta. Make sure they get it cleared. And Abel gets a poor timing. He's on top. Now you have 3 down for 100 Thieves. This is a massive opening on offense to get into B.
Vance has grab slam as well. Probably wants to play around the door. Is able to find 1, but Joe gets taken down. Priesta has his grab slam as well. Octane finds 2 on the flank. That's going to shut this push down. I thought it was going to be Denial who could get on the point. And I wanted Vance to just sit in that lobby corner if he could have got there. That's when you want to use that grab slam. Just tries to open it up on that push, but it was Octane on the flank who really shut it down. But Denial not out of this one. Still have a life advantage. But 25 seconds to work with. And, well, the life advantage is gone. It's very much gone.
Yep, very much gone. 4 are going to drop. And now they're all coming back off spawn outside of what? Brack, who's inside of their lobby. Really the guy in the best position to make a play. They've got to get out of their window first. Kenny gets 1 before he drops. It's 5 versus 5, 6 seconds on the clock. They've got to get somebody to touch. It's going to force Brack to try and make a play. He can't get through the opening. Not able to get in. Still all defense. Nice hold at A. 400 Thieves. But yeah, that life advantage, what was it, 4? And then it just completely flipped?
Yeah.
Or what, 3? 3, 4?
But Octane really made that play because you had a very good push towards this zone. I'm not sure where he came from, if he was inside vent, but nobody picked up the flanker. Maybe they didn't, and that person lost the gunfight. But that leads to multiple kills for Octane, and we know, just even with 3 people, how slow that zone sort of, loads on in, plus you spawn all the way across the map. The numbers advantage very quickly going to turn for 100 Thieves, and that's when they were able to retake.
All for Denial to stay alive in this series. They've got to get back-to-back rounds in control. And Slasher just peppering shots in. The aggression on the other end from Enable, that is a clean sweep, and they might be able to 5-stack this thing basically as one watches the flank. They'll get 4 inside, and you can see it just cruising.
Yeah, Denial's going to try to do the same thing, trap them in. Key difference here, you don't have a player inside of vents. You have 2 in their lobby, 2 in each lobby, 1 watching window, but Slasher guns rated. Now you have nobody watching window.
That's a challenge. Oh, you've got the heady? All right, here I come. Little slide cancel and hits the shots. Priesta wins his one-on-one, and look at the 4 arrows just all set up on the Arsenal side for Denial, the Denial side on Arsenal. Octane so close to streaks, able to get away with his life for now. The push is going to come in, reads it well, but Brack takes his head.
I will say, anytime that 100 Thieves has been in a position like this, it's been Brack who's found a couple multi-kills to get Denial out of that spawn trap. So, great individual plays by Brack to keep Denial in the round.
Surprise, Alex. Nice play outside of the map. But now you've got to hold for 90 seconds. And you've got War Machine. Enable's about to have vision. Kenny should get attack 5 with this much time remaining. Priesta should get another grab slam. You're going to have a ton of utility to use. You're going to have, what, tack 5 and vision? Really on the other end?
Yeah, maybe.
Well, depending on how many kills they get.
Tempest.
Yeah.
I mean, if they can get it to a round 5 and you can hang on to a War Machine Tempest, you'll have the advantage. And you'll need it because they'll be going into an offensive round. So you see 100 Thieves trying to work the flank. Bance, though, this is what you want with that ICR. You have one player down low, though. That's Enable. One player on the lobby. Risa does get found out, but that's fine because he gets taken down. They can focus on Enable. That's everyone out of their base. Now 40 seconds to work with. Not a lot of time for 100 Thieves.
And he gets staggered once again. Nice positioning from Brack in the mid lab, so they have to worry about him as they try to build this push. You see at number 7 just trying to deal with it before he goes. Nice stun in from Brack. Gonna funnel them in, but this entire time they're trying to get the push to the front. They have to worry about when Brack is gonna pounce. Is it through vent or is it through the flank?
Slasher finds 2, and the question's gonna be, are you gonna use any of your specialists? 100 Thieves, I have almost all 5. They're able to get onto the point. Joe, though, able to find 1.
He's really close to streaks as well. I think he's 155 off.
All right, they're gonna use the vision pulse. Here we go. 100 Thieves trying to win it right here. But Denial are finding the kills as Alex finds 3. Shuts down the vision pulse player as well. One more push. Can anyone touch the point? Priest is trying to fly in. Kenny right behind him, but it's Brack who finds 2. And Denial gonna be able to hold on. We're going to a round 5.
Did Joe end up staying alive and vent that entire time?
Yep.
Oh, I want to see where he's at towards streaks. I wasn't sure if he ever ended up dropping or if he got any more points towards it. We'll see the best play from Brack.
I think this is those 3 kills when the entire 100 Thieves team is just in his spawn. He backs on up through lobby and is able to just help his teammates. Then what, Octane was 100 points off his streaks right there.
I mean, he loses that first gunfight, and that is a problem for the Denial spawn. Round 5. You're going to have everything within this round 5.
You're going to have a lot for Denial, too.
Yeah, I mean, really, the big edge is just going to be the grab slam. It's probably the biggest thing. Bance likely not going to get to another one as he really goes off within the round. Well, it's been all defense, and it's 100 Thieves defense for the 5th round. Playing aggressive behind the attack 5. 2 line up for Priest. The slide and the hip fire almost connects onto another. Slasher does bring his War Machine into this early. They want to get a hefty live advantage in the early going.
There's a problem, though. When you sort of show a B showing, you've already wasted 40 seconds. Now all of map control goes to 100 Thieves. They showed B, but Slasher just uses the War Machine. Now how do you get in? You use the TAC 5. Or sorry, you're close to the TAC 5 on Brack. You're probably going to use it here soon. Priest on the flank as the TAC 5 comes in. But still, a couple of kills for 100 Thieves. That's all they need to stagger the push. They know the push is towards this B side as Octane finds 1, and now he has the help.
You need a miracle break right now if you're Denial.
That's the problem with going B and you find nothing. You don't stop the clock when because you're not on the point.
Do they have anything they can use? Tempest is very, very close. Out. You have Tempest and War Machine so close.
But
even closer.
Priest has slam. He can retake this with the slam. He's going to wait for Kenny, but they actually push on through. He was just trying to wait. He was waiting for Kenny to get into the window. They might go again with the War Machine. Or sorry, with the grab slam. Kenny finds 2 through window.
They haven't finished it yet.
There's
the War Machine. He goes for it.
What just happened? I have no idea.
He got blown up by a grenade is what happened, and that's going to give them A.
There was a Tempest, too? Yeah, Raided's using Tempest. I saw lightning. I was very confused.
Yeah, that was fireworks is what that was. 18-16. Minimal life advantage to 100 Thieves. They've got to hold it B. Denial building this next push. 4 players moving up. Raided's just able to come out lobby. He had some pretty fortunate timing there as you thought the player statue maybe looking at him. He's able to get out lobby and hit a shot. 2 drop, but Kenny is still here. Him and Slash are able to combo to pick up 4 of the kills. 1 player left for the Nile. His stun's going to connect. Can he get both as he tries to push the edge? No, Brack's still able to stay up in dark.
Here's the push, though, for Denial. They have good map position on these statues. Starting to trade effectively. Octane trying to stay alive. Joe's able to find 2. An opportunity right here for Denial to win this offensive round, but it's Kenny. Does find 1. No take. First take just in.
And 100 Thieves right now are just scrambling in 1 by 1, and they've got the crossfire in Denial. Alex has been hit to like 1 HP, it seems like a million times. That time they're able to finish it.
3 versus 3.
Joe so close to streaks as well. I think he was 25 off of streaks. Brack and Joe cut him down, and there's the 5th round to Denial. I guess they don't need the script control as they beat 100 Thieves on one of their best maps and modes they have. What a win, and you're probably pretty frustrated there if you're 100 Thieves. You thought you had the victory.
Yeah, I mean, just looking at that push, I thought 100 Thieves was going to be able to lock on A. I think the play was we can retake that A site with the Grassland, but the War Machine, he got hit by the Tempest as well. Priest wasn't able to connect with anything because Kenny did go through window. He found a couple of kills, which bought Priest a time, but that doesn't happen in the transition from A to B site, all Denial.
And it felt like once Denial got that 1 foothold in, like it was just 1 by 1 from 100 Thieves for like 30, 40 seconds. Like they were so staggered. I understand you're panicking because they're in the point. They can close it out there, but I think if you just take 3 seconds and try to at least get 1 5-man crack at it, but it just didn't feel like they really had 1 full push. Like you were staggered nonstop over this final 60 seconds.
Kenny and Slasher held on, and it was this push right here. Kenny and Slasher did a wonderful job, found 3 players, but they challenged again, and I think this is where the stagger came in. So you had 3 players on the point. They all die. Octane's the last one up, and then, you know, it sort of creates that wave again. Kenny and Slasher, they're the first 2 up. Here they come on in. Kenny flies in, does find a gunfight, but that staggers. Now you only have 4. Guess what? Slasher gets taken down. Now it's just 3 players. So the numbers were always in favor of Denial.
And Octane was so close to finishing Alex as he slid to dark. He gets him to like 10 HP. He finishes that. That eliminates one of your angles, and maybe they can get it a little bit more cleanly. But what a resilient effort to stay alive in this series from Denial. Their weakest mode, the one they win. But now, since they lost the Search and Destroy,
I win 2 respawns.
Yeah, you got to win 2. They said the recipe for success was to steal a respawn. Yeah, now you got to steal 2. Can they beat him in a hard point? What was the map for?
That's Gridlock.
Gridlock, okay. Oh, it's right on our screen. I was looking at you and not the screen. Okay, so they don't get the frequency, which they looked really good on yesterday. Gridlock, though, isn't that the map that people like refuse to play 100? That was like an auto ban against 100 Thieves for a while early in the title.
Yeah, I think that was one of their better hard points, but I don't think there's really I don't think there's much of a weakness now.
Pick your poison. Yeah, it's like you ban Gridlock, you ban Arsenal. You have to get one of the 2 out of there.
Yeah. We saw how good they were in Hacienda. Shouldn't that be solid on frequency? I think the one map we don't really see 100 Thieves play much is Seaside.
Can Denial surprise us yet again and get this to a map 5? I got a feeling 100 Thieves gonna be pissed after that map 3, though.
Well, I will say, right, like a lot of the times we do see this from event to event where there's one glaring weakness from like a team, and you put a lot of priority on that, where you start to lose some focus in concentration on other game modes. So that's really what the league's for, right? To just
you're saying all that time in Search and Destroy maybe.
It may have. I mean, I don't know. Maybe Denial just played that very well. I thought there was some mistakes from 100 Thieves, especially that last push. But yeah, it typically does happen if you have a really bad hard point. You know, it just switches back and forth.
Well, Joe and Bance just ripped through all of 100 Thieves. They got the first 5 kills. Joe's still going. He's 4-0 and already 360 off of streaks as he's now trying to flip spawns. They've already done that. You can see everybody spawning in the backside of the map as they won't be able to get ready for number 2. This has been literally all Denial. You've only got, what, like 3, 4 kills out of 100 Thieves in the early going? We talked about Joe being close to streaks. Bance in the conversation as well, as he's just 210 off.
100 Thieves, a couple of those players do spawn out, so not towards this rotation. Can these 3 stay alive? You have 1 player top overpass. Octane gets taken down on the street, so nobody watching that. They're fine Slasher. Now it's just Kenny towards the back. Kenny trying to stay alive towards that back bus stop while the reinforcements will come through the street. Can Kenny stay alive? Almost finds that kill on a Joe.
Joe is such a tough kill so far. He is such a tough kill. 6-1. Fantastic movement and strafe with the SOG. Just being a nightmare for 100 Thieves to deal with, but the pinch is going to come in behind Slasher, and there Joe is going to get cut down. It's 54-6 though right now in favor of Denial.
That was an opportunity though for Denial because they broke that hill and they found Kenny. You have to be able to watch that pinch and watch that tree. That's an opportunity for you to go up 80 to 90 points. But 100 Thieves very quickly bounced on back. Yeah, a big break for them.
Some much needed time. for 100 Thieves. Can they break in once again? It's another early setup and early control for Denial. 3 in a row now for them. Rated gets the first kill behind the ICR as he's watching the angle into Tals. They're building a split pinch. His priests are just waiting to get in through Little Room. And now they're going to collapse. Should be there. A trade for Priesta should be there. And now control. I was going to say control 100 Thieves. So really everyone's kind of headbutting in.
Yeah.
Octane was able to get streaks. He's 7-4. He has a Lightning and Hellstorm to work with as he keeps going.
He's got the help of Enable trying to stay alive. They're both able to do so. Enable finally gets taken down. Denial, though, still in the hill. They have this 35-point lead, and once again, it's Brack who finds a multi-kill, allows them to push on out, and while 100 Thieves is just going to stay. They have the spawns they want. Kenny may spawn out. He will. So it's going to be a 4 versus 5 on this rotation, but Priesta, him and Slash are going to lock it down.
One team kill comes in, but they knock out basically everybody except for Joe again. He's 10-4. But it will be 100 Thieves in first. But Vance, the other SOG on this Denial lineup, they get right in. A chance to build an ever-increasing lead. They'll eclipse the 100-point mark as Vance plays from top steps.
Kenny's on a big pinch now. Yeah, Kenny, he spawns out. That sort of creates a pinch for 100 Thieves. Due to Joe's positioning on that statue early on, I think Kenny got a bad spawn. He died, but Octane and Enable were able to rotate on into that hill.
On Priest to kill 3, which helps.
Yep. So it gave Kenny a bit of a pinching opportunity, and that's exactly what happened.
And where this lead really started for now was that first hard point, and they completely
but now you have
locked
two
her
streaks.
Exactly. Exactly. That's what I was going to say. You have some tools to deal with it if you get the early setup from Denial. Now, what a 25-point advantage.
And once again in map 1, it was this first rotation. It was very close. And then after that, it was all 100 Thieves who sort of just woke up.
He just misses that final one, so I think that was Alex who's going to be able to get the hole in the wall. But you've got Priesta, top overpass. Pushing out the other side was Enable. He will fall. It's going to be 2 down for 100 Thieves. A chance for the Wolfpack to attack. Kenny wins 2 one-on-ones, and he's still standing tall inside of the hard point. Peeks out for the third, though. Maybe gets a little overzealous, and still get traded out, but not until after he gets 3. But we're about to have ourselves a lead change. It was all Denial early, 100 Thieves now, and they'll take over.
We'll have a big one-on-one on the rotation. Slasher is going to win it. Rated was the only player there for Denial. The rest spawn all the way out towards that back courtyard. This is going to be a long rotation for Denial.
This remind you of the map 1?
Yeah, Joe, he's going to spawn out. Brack here to spawn out. Everybody just running an Octane in the human turrets. Not missing right now. So he's able to find 3 kills. Well, you see where Denial's spawning. Look at this trap that is set up. You have 2 players towards that broken house, 2 players watching the back. It's a bit of a 3-2 push right now for Denial. But all map pressure and positioning the way of 100 Thieves.
Well, I think Enable pushes all the way out thinking he can spawn safe, but he's going to die way out in no man's land and then spawning out because of the pincher attack you have in from Denial. So Denial, what a break in. I spawn out 100 Thieves and a chance to stabilize, at least for the moment. Vance does have grapple and grab slam ready to go at his whim. 4 down for 100 Thieves again. And we should have ourselves another lead change.
Yeah, almost a bit of a mishap for your 100 Thieves. There's almost like so much map control where they got a little... Thought they had a bit of a freedom to move around with, and then they end up getting caught.
Well, they just didn't have like either side really pushed out that far. And once the pinch came in, yeah, I was staring at Enable as he pushed out, just curious where he was going to spawn. Yeah, he was way like bottom left of the map. Nice shots from Priesta. A little bit of help from the Tempest as well. As Denial backs out for now, you still hear the Tempest going off. I think he was able to connect with a shot in the back. And he'll just hold Little Room, give himself an easy shot. War Machine.
War Machine, yep.
They'll try to call that into counter.
And well, it's all out. Not able to find anything. Does weaken some players up. 100 Thieves able to Grab slam gonna be used from Bance, finds nothing on the other end. It's Priesta who finds 3 of his own. And behind that, they're gonna push on up, and you see the spawns. Streaks for Priesta as well.
And that is a big moment for a bunch of reasons. Yes, the time, but Bance was 100 points off of streaks. So he hits that, he gets streaks, but instead Priesta hits his, and then he comes away with a lightning on a 7 spree. He might get a Hellstorm as well. So yeah, that was about as bad a turn of events as you could have if you're
plus
Denial.
Spawns, and now, I mean, Priesta, he's just gonna ping. Might not call it. Octane still has a lightning as well. And it's so tough to break the back.
God, now I'm going to wonder if this game goes to 100 Thieves, how different it could have been if Bance hits that grab slam.
Yeah, if he's able to connect with it too, or at least find Priesta, because that's really the difference maker. If he can find Priesta before he connects with his.
Well, hell, even if he connects with 2 and not Priesta, he still gets 2 streaks to use. Over the 200-point mark. Priesta calling in a lightning. War Machine going to be in as well. He got a kill with the lightning, got a kill with the Maddox. And you can see how far out Denial is spawning.
Yeah, they know they have 2 more streaks, so they're just investing in everything they have. They're trying to put the game away right here. This would put them at about 230. Slasher knows there's pressure on both ends. Flat jacket out for Denial.
Yeah, you can say that. I thought those would be direct hits. Yeah. Like, nope, swatting grenades aside.
Nice little bounce pass, and they caught him.
Well, Denial, once again, they're going to be here early, but you have the streaks to use. So Hellstorm and a lightning. We'll see what they have to call in. That's a snap and a half from Priesta.
26 and 13.
Well, you wonder why they picked the guy up. He's been showing it day in and day out, just how talented he is. Octane said he is the most annoying person for him to play against, just a nuisance on the map, and he has been that within this game. We saw some brilliant moments from Joe early, but now it has been all Priesta. He's going off 3 in a row now for him, just finessing around the hard point. 20 seconds needed for 100 Thieves. 1 more streak in to just back him up, and he gets all the information in the world with regards to the spawn and where they're rotating into the hard point. And it should be all she wrote. No one with a chance to get in. 100 Thieves close it out in the map 4. And Denial, I mean, they did one thing they set out to do. They were able to steal 1 respawn, but I think what gets really scary, and I know we haven't seen enough of it yet, but if this is a 100 Thieves team that improves dramatically in Search and Destroy, if they're looking good every map too, how in the hell are you going to beat them? Because if most teams when they go up against them, you look at it as a success if you take a respawn. Taking 2.
Well, I think there's a few teams who can do it. Only a few.
A couple, yeah.
United Optic just sort of come to mind right now just based off their London performances. But yeah, that's scary. I mean, if they do clean up the Search and Destroy, because that's where, United was able to find some success. Same with Optic Gaming. And, their focus, like for United and Optic, is to find the respawns. Where's the weakness in those respawns for 100 Thieves? So it's going to be fun to watch, right? Sort of how that plays out at Anaheim. But yeah, I think Denial, they showed a solid performance.
Certainly did. 1 series in the books, 3 more to go to break down the action from 100 Thieves Denial. We'll get right back over to the desk.
Thank you so much, gentlemen. And there you have it, kicking things off, 100 Thieves 3-1ing Denial. But I want to talk, Ant, first a little bit about that control, because coming into this series, 100 Thieves was 5-2 in London, 9-2 in the Pro League in control, and Denial was able to steal it from them. So why do you think that happened?
Well, it was a battle of defense, right? Like every team was just, or each team was just dominating on those defenses, and we saw them able to finally pick up an offense in that very last round, and off of some good plays on the side of Denial. But 100 Thieves, I think they really tried to capitalize on that grab slam, and unfortunately he gets taken out. Priesta gets taken out as he goes in through those mid doors, and that was sort of their one opportunity there to kind of shut this game out, because they were doing a very good job here in the beginning of this round, and then Denial just does a good job of trading out here and not letting them get any steam or any sort of trades going in at all. So Denial shut them down here.
I think because they were doing such a good job in that round, they decided to try to break, because there's only 10 total seconds left at the time.
Yeah,
but right then I was like, you probably should have just gave that up. Like, I know it's kind of annoying to do, but they had a 5-6 life lead at that point before they tried to retake that A point. They could have just given that up and had the life advantage going into that final push for the outside bomb point.
I understand their thought process, right? Like, they picked up 3 kills, so they're like, at max, there's 2 people on there. Let me just go through these doors, grab slam, we win the game. There's 10 seconds left, it runs out, it's over, because they were doing such a good job. But unfortunately, they had the Tempest out, they had the War Machine. He doesn't get his slam off, they kill him, and then they get out. And as soon as they hop that point, it's pretty much all she wrote.
There's also a point on the offense before that where had Brack not picked up that 3-piece, Sam got 1 more kill, just 1 of those kills outside, that game probably would have been over right then and there. But Denial did a good job of holding off the 100 Thieves push in their spawn. Had they not done that, that would have been a 3-0.
Yeah, there was some unlucky